Hello.
Oh, turn on the video.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Hello. Hello. Oh, right there, harder.
Why don't you hang up? This is.
Yeah. Oh, harder on the right hand side. Don't you feel? It feels to me like there's a big lump there.
Yeah. Oh, talking.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll get out of the way. So. Otherwise, it looks funny. Mike Rubinsky or these other people.
Hi.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm
hey,
good.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year. Ellen, are you still in Florida?
Yeah, till tomorrow. I come back tomorrow.
Oh, how nice. Have you been having a good time?
What?
Have you been having a good time?
Yeah, we have.
Nice
I've been
weather?
working the last couple of days. Hang on, I got to go grab a call. I'll be back.
Okay. Hi, Nikki. You're muted.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
How are you?
Good. How
Happy
are
New
you?
Year. I'm good.
Thanks. You too. Wait, I got to get my light fixed here.
Okay. Hi, Marion. You're muted.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Hi, Brian. Hi, Stacy.
Good morning.
Hi, Scott. Oh, now we're getting a full screen.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
As always, I'd like to think that this is the start of a good new year, but you know, the world keeps proving me wrong.
At least Washington does.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're far away.
Is that like that old Jewish proverb? May God keep the czar far, far away from me.
Yeah. Yes. And all those who do his bidding. Hi, Joan.
Hello.
Ooh, so quiet.
Hi. Happy New Year.
New Year.
Hi. I heard you. I was on a call.
Oh, okay.
Happy New Year. How's everybody?
Oh, it's Thursday.
Still
Hi,
recovering from yesterday.
I was gonna say it's Thursday, but the day after, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Tragic.
Miriam and Joan and Ellen and Stacy Richard says hi.
Tell them we said hi. It's like, hi back.
They say hi back.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy
We're
New
off to a
Year.
good start.
wow, that was hedged.
Hi, Jen. Happy New Year.
That's
So
right.
Marion, is that your green screen behind you?
It's my green wallpaper in my dated JFS office, if that's what you mean.
No,
Yes.
I was talking to Marion Gordon.
Yeah, she really has a green screen.
No, that seriously
I mean-
is my green screen. I'm waiting for the stand to arrive so I don't have to clip it to my window blinds.
Oh, that's funny.
Really funny. I'll get one of those. It'll make me feel better about the green wallpaper in my office.
There you go.
Your wallpaper is called Sage.
It is, that's true. And I actually love the color sage, but it's a lot of sage.
All right, well, I guess it's 10:02. We'll do our normal delayed 2-minute start time. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We have, well, I actually can't remember what our agenda is this morning. Obviously, yesterday, not a great day. I think we'll talk a little bit about, Scott can give us some updates on any information he has. You should have all received one of his, if you will, be on alerts, just, always being vigilant and keeping an eye on what's going around us and around the world. And we will see how things play out over the course of the coming 2 weeks, hopefully in a not negative way. And so with that, I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. Hearing none, I'll turn it over to Brian.
All right, so here's what I'm suggesting. I know that there's a lot of emotion and thought about what went on yesterday. I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to share with you a little bit of our schedule for the next couple of months, because I have some stuff to share. And then we can get our regular update from David Witten. Scott can speak for a couple of minutes, and then we can open the floor to whatever might be on people's minds, whatever that might be. I don't want to presuppose anything. So let me just let you guys share with you this. Can you all see what I have put up without anything obstructing it? Okay, so we've been talking about getting the Chancellor of WashU to come speak to us, and we've got that set and a couple of other things. So next week, we are going to have a presentation of the Organizational Capacity Needs Assessment findings, which Nava Cantor will do with us. Most, if not all of you, took part in that. It led to some very specific thoughts and outcomes, which I'm going to address in a second as well. But there's a lot of really good information and a lot of information that I think many of you will find helpful in terms of perspective setting, right? You feel like you are alone or you have this issue. We surveyed everybody, and there may be some really good and helpful data in there to say, oh, I'm not alone in that, or I am alone in that. Everybody else is actually in a different place. It's some good information. She's gonna please invite any of your staff or leadership that you think would be appropriate to participate in that conversation next week. Then on the 28th, in 3 weeks, we had originally had Burt Garland coming to speak with us around HR issues regarding vaccines, and he had to cancel at the last minute. We've rescheduled him for January 28th. It's not going to be the full time, but just his perspective as an HR attorney, and for you guys to be able to ask questions about concerns or thoughts or things that you're hearing or considering. Again, he is coming as a general, an HR attorney. He's not here to represent specifically you unless you kind of work with him. But again, invite anybody you think is appropriate for that. And then 2 weeks after that, we are scheduled to have Chancellor Martin from WashU come and speak with us about what WashU is doing at this time and how they're handling things and the role that they're playing in the community. If people have specific thoughts or questions that you'd like for him to address, either individually or as the representative of WashU, get them to me in the next week or two, because I'm having a conversation with his staff to put together that agenda. They'd like a little more structure. So the bottom three then are the needs assessment finding on capacity building led to 3 primary areas that people wanted to get support or help with: collaboration, financial resource development, and the lay professional relationship and communication. And so we have set up 1-hour sessions, Zoom trainings, whatever you want to call them, for some Wednesdays, one in February, one in March, one in April, in order to allow you and whatever staff or professional or volunteer leadership that you work with to participate in those and not take up too much of your time. We are going to cancel our Thursday calls the weeks that those happen. So We will be doing a session on collaboration on Wednesday, February 24th, and you guys will get all this information. We're going to cancel our Thursday, February 25th session for all of us so that you can commit the time that you need to the thing and we don't take too much of your time. Same in March, same in April. We're going to send all this information out to you guys. I just wanted you to have a sense of what is coming, of the dates of some of these things, so that you can plan accordingly or invite and bring along anybody else connected with the organization who wants to participate. All right. Any questions or thoughts around any of that? Does anybody want any clarity or want to talk about it? Or Mindy, if I misspoke on anything, please let me know.
The only thing I'll add is the report, the organizational capacity summary and report is available online on the Federation page. Also, we'll send it out with the notes from this meeting.
Great. Any other thoughts, questions, or ideas for other sessions that we should be working on? I hope that this is meeting people's needs, and I hope that they are a good use of time for everyone. All right. If there's nothing else around that, David, I don't know what's been going on lately, but maybe you could give us an update.
Well, thank you. So obviously we have a lot going on. Let's talk for a second before we get into kind of political speculation, all the stuff that's going on about kind of where we are in terms of packages and legislation and things of that nature, because I think that's probably pretty important as well. So, you know, obviously with the Georgia Senate race turning out the way it did, Democrats will hold the US Senate, which means, as I'm being told by my friends in Washington, it is highly likely that state and local government aid will be back on the table on January 20th, which will be really big. That's, you know, actually that is probably one of the most significant things that Chuck Schumer can do for New York. So I expect that to be back on the table with kind of a weakened Republican minority now in the Senate that will try and argue some level of COVID liability as part of the package. But I would not be surprised to see those guys get through 160 or $200 billion. We saw an attorney general pick in Merrick Garland yesterday, or the day, I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before. That's again a signal that the Biden administration is kind of leaning into the middle for their picks on various major cabinet positions. So that's kind of an important thing in the tea leaves. One of the things that we have talked about a lot is the money that's coming into the state. There was an announcement yesterday by HHS at the federal level that by January 19th, every state will be given their share of vaccine and testing money. So in Missouri, that means we will get, I think it's $67 million or $60 million for vaccine money alone, and that's for the planning of and deployment of vaccine. That money will be in the state coffers by January 19th. And we'll get something like $350 million additional dollars for testing. And testing is kind of a wide net. It includes contact tracing and things like that. For those that are trying to keep track of the vaccine, what we know at this point is that it's not an issue of manufacturing, although they are concerned about manufacturing over the long term. They're trying to fill positions and contract with additional providers. It's much more about deployment. So there is enough vaccine available for that kind of targeted 2 million doses to 1 million people through December 31st. It's really on states. We expect when the new administration takes hold, they will be kind of laser focused on getting that vaccine disseminated in any way they possibly can in moving forward. That's kind of been the conversation for the last 2 or 3 weeks. That's kind of the first thing that they can do to show that they can get things done. There's a lot riding on that. So that's where we are. The other thing I think that is important, especially I know we have a pretty broad audience on this call, so I bring it to your attention, is there are a number of social programs that are going to be changing over the next 12 months. One of them is Medicaid, which is, you know, one of the largest social programs we have in the state. Almost 1 million people are on it. So we are going to go through a Medicaid expansion process. I completely believe and am convinced that there's not going to be any kind of meaningful challenge by the legislature to make that occur, which means we're going to have 200,000 roughly new adults eligible for the Medicaid program come July 1 of 2021. So just in 6.5 months. What that really means is a lot of the people that are knocking on our door for support, whether they're knocking on the rabbi's door at the congregation saying, I lost my job and I need help, or they're at the food pantry, or they're lining up for counseling, or they're at JCC. This is a massive resource that we should be aware of, that we can help folks understand. I mean, obviously access to healthcare is one of the most important things. And we would like to do everything we can to make sure you have the information that you need to be able to communicate that to folks as they come in. It is a massive resource. What I think the second most significant change is going to be the changes under early childhood. The governor is going to tease in his State of the State address on the 27th, the formation of a new Office of Early Childhood under the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. This is something that individuals on both parties, governors of both parties have talked about for many years. We have a very fractured process for delivering services to kids from 0 to 5. Once you hit 5, for the most part, you're in school, and then you get foster care and child welfare service on it. But 0 to 5 has been a really long going conversation. 3 and 4-year-olds, the state got a major grant a couple of years back for 3 and 4-year-olds that DESE is working on pre-K. I think we're going to see a movement of pre-K into districts. I think that's going to be the logical conclusion. And then 0 to 3, which is childcare subsidy for a lot of folks, we're seeing a lot of movement on additional dollars being brought into that program and getting rid of the cliff effect. So today, if you have somebody walk in your door and they have children who need childcare, they can get subsidy if their income is low enough. But once their income goes $1 above what is low enough, they lose everything. And so there is, the governor's already issued additional dollars for this year under COVID to eliminate that cliff effect for a very significant number of parents by subsidizing in a stair-step approach daycare for people as they make more money. There's going to be a push to make that permanent, which will completely change the way we do work in the state. So I think those two programs are really significant and are going to matter for the people that we look to and we take care of. And, we know this crisis is not going to end with a vaccine. And so I think we're going to be dealing with the unemployment rates. We just got unemployment numbers this morning. They're holding pretty steady, but we're going to be dealing with the unemployment. We're going to be dealing with all of the issues you're seeing right now in an uncertain market, an uncertain environment. The stock market is not going to be an indicator. There's nobody that believes the stock market is going to be an indicator of the general health of the community and individuals and families. So I'm going to stop there. The legislature will really start next week with naming committees and all that good stuff. We can talk more as we see things heat up, but that's probably enough, and nobody wants to listen to me for more than a minute or two anyway. So I'll shut up and answer any questions. Obviously, I know what happened last night's on everybody's mind. I'm happy to try and answer whatever questions. I would urge you to look at the statements by Roy Blunt and Ann Wagner from last night. I mean, they are, my understanding is Ann Wagner is getting death threats all over the place right now because of her statements. So that's what I've got for the moment.
Great. Questions for David about the things specifically that he addressed to start with. Go ahead, Ellen.
Yeah, David, we're hearing through the grapevine that there may be a truncated legislative session, that they may come back, just do the budget and be done. Are you hearing that?
No, that's not going to happen. That's not true. What we've been doing, Ellen, internally is we've been like playing out scenarios internally and with legislators. Okay, a full legislative looks like this. There's this much bandwidth. What does 2/3 of one look like? What does half of one look like? So what you will see is a reordering of priorities. So you will see the budget take front and center. I've been communicating with the budget chair this morning about something else, but I can tell you those guys are super, super laser focused on making sure they don't miss the constitutional deadline on the budget. So that's going to be the number one priority. And the governor's State of the State is late this year. It's January 27th, which gives him a little more time to figure things out. So they're a little concerned because they really can't start that budget in earnest until the governor reveals his. And then we'll see redistricting. You know, that'll be the number 2 priority because that is a constitutional requirement, right? So we're going to see that. And then there'll be another kind of what I consider to be tier 2 issues. And those things will be things like there'll be some tort reform stuff, especially around COVID. There will be some education issues that they really want to get done. At least I think there will be. There will be some economic development. Wayfair, you know, the internet sales tax will play into that heavily. And then probably supplemental budgets, not too far behind in spending, because we're about to get a ton of dough from the feds. And that money cannot be spent without some supplemental authority. So no, I don't think so, Ellen, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the session for all practical purposes shrink to 2/3 of what it would normally be. And you can testify online, by the way. For anybody that's doing advocacy, Zoom testimony will be available.
I don't even know if you can hear me. Anything else? Anybody else have questions around any things that, did you want to speak for 1 minute, David, about the Missouri Foundation for Health opportunity?
Medicaid basics. Yes, Medicaid basics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So MFH does this really, really great document. I think I have it on my desk somewhere because we work with those guys. They have been doing this for about 7 years, and it's called Medicaid Basics. And it was started as a primer for the legislature to give them some level of intellectual, like some IQ on what Medicaid really is, because so few people understand it. And it's such a big program. And it's really a fantastic primer on the nuts and bolts. We can get that to everybody. MFH is doing a seminar on January 15th, Brian. You have that, I think.
We're going to send it out to everyone following this. It is next Friday.
They do a fabulous job on this, and I would encourage you, it's available online. If there's a big interest in the community, we can certainly talk to MFH if Friday is not a good day. We can certainly talk to MFH about doing kind of a special presentation on this for folks if they want to. But given the fact that Medicaid covers so many people, it's such a massive program and it's so underutilized in many cases, and the transition from clinically based services to services that are more social clinical within the Medicaid model are such significant things that I think it's worth people having a basic understanding.
Okay. So we felt that it was important because of what David talked about earlier with Medicaid and the possible expansion and opportunities. We'll send out information about it, but if people are looking for a primer on Medicaid, that kind of stuff, it's a good opportunity. We will make sure to include it. Any other questions for David around this stuff? All right, if not, I'm gonna pivot us for a moment. I'm gonna ask Scott to just give an update on what has been going on and is going on right now, what we're hearing and seeing, and then we can have an open conversation. David will stay on for a couple minutes. He can certainly answer or address questions that people might have. Scott?
Okay, I think everyone probably is receiving more information, information overload regarding the events of yesterday at the nation's capital. What I'm going to focus on are immediate threats to the St. Louis area, to our organizations here. And in terms of that, we are seeing no actionable intelligence information from any source to indicate that we have any brewing threat, protest, circumstances here in the St. Louis area that would provide us with any type of scenario like what occurred in the nation's capital yesterday. You're probably aware there was a rally at our state capitol in Jefferson City. That rally did not turn out like the rally that occurred at the nation's capital. We're going to continue to monitor this. Of course, the extremism that we monitor all the time is always a concern, and we will be continuing to monitor activities and intelligence that we get and taking the necessary steps to get that information out to the community, as well as make any security enhancements or offer any suggestions and considerations for enhancements that we can.
Great. Oh, Brian, you're muted. So this time, there you go.
Thanks, Scott. And any questions for Scott? Anything anybody's seeing, hearing, have questions about, thoughts? In that case, we can open up the floor now. If anybody has anything that they want to talk about or bring up. Yeah. Hey, Karen.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Just want to let you know that there's a lot of advocacy going on around the state of Illinois as a result of Congresswoman Mary Miller's comments yesterday in Washington. She is a new member of Congress. She took John Shimkus' seat in the House 15th, which is, southeastern Illinois. And she said, in effect, Hitler did one thing right. Those who have the minds of youth have the future. So the Jewish community in Southern Illinois and frankly out of Chicago are piling on her. And there are a lot of folks who are writing to her. We asked for a formal apology. And I suppose there's going to be some Holocaust education headed her way, maybe the next time she's in district. I'm not even sure she's set up an office yet. She's been on the job, whatever days. So that'll continue to be an educational opportunity. And Don, I'll let you know a little bit more about how that progresses to see if folks who are connected to HMLC, but who are from Southern Illinois, who have that education capacity to be a part of anything that happens.
We're about to do a new direct mail effort, Karen. Give me her address. I'll be sure she gets one of our pieces.
Okay, I'll send you an email. I'm not even sure she has an office yet. Maybe we'll just find her home and just dump it all there.
All right. Anything else? Any other questions while David's still with us and Scott or anything? Any other items just in general? Does anybody want to bring up or talk about?
Okay. Well,
here's what I can offer. If people, we can end the formal part of the meeting. Greg can end it. We can turn off the recording, and if people just want to stay on and talk, since the forum is here and we have it, people are welcome to stay on and talk afterwards if they like.
Why don't we do that? All right. So if there's nothing else,
and then we can end the recording.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks everybody for making the time to be on, and we look forward to seeing you all next week
to talk about our capacity building services.
Capacity building and so forth. Sorry, a lot going on today.